Manchester United are in crisis, not the kind of crisis that gets fixed with one good result, not the kind of crisis that fades away after a press conference. This is the kind of crisis that forces an entire club to stop, look in the mirror and ask serious questions about its direction, its leadership and its identity. Right now, in April 2026, Manchester United sit third in the Premier League table. On paper, that sounds respectable. It even sounds like progress. But the numbers do not tell the full story. The performances tell the story. The decisions tell the story. And the growing tension between the manager, the players and the hierarchy at the top of the club tells the story louder than any league table ever could. Tonight, we are going to go through everything, every development, every rumour, every confirmed piece of news. We are going to separate fact from speculation and we are going to give you the full picture that most people are not giving you. This is exactly why this channel exists. Before we go any further, understand what is actually at risk for Manchester United right now. Third place in the Premier League means Champions League football next season. That is not just a trophy, that is financial survival for a club that needs elite revenue to fund its rebuild. Without Champions League money, the transfer plans collapse. Without the transfer plans, the squad rebuild stalls. Without the rebuild, the decay continues. Everything is connected. And right now, the cracks in that connection are becoming very visible. If you want this level of breakdown on every single Manchester United development as it happens, hit that subscribe button right now. This channel exists to give you clarity, not confusion. We do not do clickbait here, we do analysis. So subscribe and let us get into it. The Stamford Bridge drought and what it means. Let us start with a number that puts Saturday's upcoming Chelsea match into full context. It has been 2,249 days since Manchester United last won a game at Stamford Bridge. The last victory came on February 17th, 2020, when United won 2-0. The player celebrating in that moment was Harry Maguire, arms wide open, shirt bearing the old Chevrolet badge, a different era entirely. 2,249 days. That is over 6 years without a Premier League win at Chelsea's ground. When you place that statistic next to the current reality of this squad, it becomes even heavier. Because United are going into this fixture not just carrying that historic weight, but carrying a deeply wounded squad, a manager whose authority is being questioned, and 2 of their centre-backs missing through suspension. That drought is not just a number, it is a symbol. It represents the broader decline of this football club over the past several years. And breaking it this Saturday would be a significant psychological moment, not just a 3 points. The evidence suggests this fixture carries enormous importance for everything that happens next at United. Winning it does not solve the structural problems, but losing it accelerates the pressure on everyone inside that building. The Harry Maguire situation. Now let us talk about what happened with Harry Maguire, because this situation reveals so much about where this club is right now. An independent regulatory commission has handed Maguire a 1-match suspension and a £30,000 fine. The charge stems from his sending off against Bournemouth, where he was charged with improper conduct. Specifically, the evidence presented by 4th official Matt Donoghue was that Maguire said, and I am quoting directly so you understand the exact words being discussed, "You are all a ficking joke," directed at the collective group of match officials. Now here is where it gets complicated. Maguire, in his own statement, contended that he said something along the lines of, "It is a faifing joke," referring to the decision, not the officials themselves. He was certain in his words that he did not call any match official a joke. Donoghue, however, later admitted in the proceedings that there is a possibility he misheard or misrecollected whether Maguire said "you're a joke," referring to one official. But he was clear and confident about remembering the phrase "you're all a fucking joke," and he believed that was directed at the officials as a group. Manchester United went further. They submitted a witness statement from Joshua Zirkzee, who was present during the incident and was confident that Maguire did not call the official a joke. Maguire accepted the FA charge but made it clear he wanted the record to show he did not believe he used abusive language toward the 4th official directly. Now, what does all of this tell us as analysts? It tells us that the Commission accepted Donoghue's version of events over Maguire's and Zirkzee's accounts. It tells us that the line between expressing frustration about a decision and directing that frustration at an official was drawn firmly against Maguire. And it tells us that the consequence of that drawing of the line is now affecting Manchester United's preparation for one of their biggest remaining matches of the season. Maguire will miss the Chelsea game. That is confirmed. That is the reality. And combined with Lisandro Martinez's red card suspension from the Leeds defeat, Michael Carrick now faces this fixture at Stamford Bridge without his two recognised first-choice centre-backs. The defensive options available to him are seriously limited, and going to a ground where United have not won in over 6 years without your defensive foundation is not a position any manager wants to be in. The Leeds defeat and what Roy Keane said. Let us now address the result that appears to have changed the mood inside Old Trafford significantly. Manchester United lost 2-1 at home to Leeds United. This came after a 24-day break during the international period. The team had time to rest, to prepare, to work on the training ground. And what happened? United went 2-0 down at home to a local rival. A player was sent off and they managed only a consolation. Roy Keane did not hold back in his assessment. His words were direct and they were pointed at the right target. He said, and I will read this carefully because every word matters, "I am amazed that after the game everyone is angry about the sending off. What about the performance? Especially that first half. You know what? The sending off has become a distraction. No, you were 2-0 down at the time. Be angry about how you started the game so slowly. It feels like a distraction for everyone. All anyone talks about is the red card." That red card was a convenient distraction for United. The manager is getting angry in the media about it, but no, get angry with the team for starting the game like that against Leeds. Oh my God, how can you start a game with no energy? Now read that again slowly and absorb what Keane is actually saying. He is not criticising the red card decision, he is criticising the mentality. He is saying that the narrative around the red card is being used, consciously or not, to avoid confronting the bigger truth. The team started a game against Leeds United at home after a 3-week rest with no energy, no aggression, no intent, 2-0 down before the red card even happened. That is the performance issue. That is what Keane identified. And the situation is that when Roy Keane, a man who played for this club with his heart, is telling you the red card was a convenient distraction, you have to listen carefully. There is also another detail worth noting here. A VAR audio clip emerged from the Ahmed penalty appeal in the Bournemouth match. The discussion between VAR and AVAR concluded that there was only upper body contact, described as just a hand on the shoulder, and the officials decided nothing significant there, with the view that Ahmed went down very easy. Manchester United supporters will feel aggrieved by that decision, but Keane's point stands regardless. The focus on officials and decisions is obscuring the urgent conversation about performance levels, Carrick's position and the hierarchy's response. This is where the story becomes genuinely significant for the club's future direction. It is now clear that Michael Carrick has lost the support of the Manchester United hierarchy following the Leeds defeat. The club is now stepping up its assessment of alternative managerial options. And the chances of Carrick remaining in charge next season are described as looking increasingly slim after that 2-1 defeat at Old Trafford. Let us be clear about what this means. This is not supporters online venting frustration. This is the club itself internally moving toward a decision about its permanent manager with increased urgency. At the same time, Fabrizio Romano has offered a slightly different framing. Romano confirmed that United have been clear with Carrick from day one. The instruction has been simple. Do your best while the club internally assesses all available options, and Romano stated that Carrick is absolutely okay with that arrangement. Romano also noted that Carrick still has chances to continue and remain as permanent manager. So we have two pictures here. One picture shows a hierarchy losing confidence. Another picture shows a man still in the running. The reality for the club is that both things can be true simultaneously. They are watching him, they are also watching others, and the Leeds result pushed the needle further toward the others. This is the reality of being an interim manager at a club of this size. You are being evaluated every single week. And right now, with only a few matches of the season remaining and a Champions League place still being chased, every result carries enormous weight for Carrick's long-term future. The managerial candidates and what we know, the situation is now a full and open managerial search. Manchester United's decision-makers, named specifically as Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox, are determined to avoid repeating the sentimental call that led to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's permanent appointment in 2019. That is an important reference point. The Solskjaer appointment was emotional. It was driven by connection to the club rather than cold tactical analysis. And the club's own leadership is now publicly signalling they will not make that mistake again. Whether or not you believe Carrick is the right man, the club is making it clear this decision will be process-driven, not sentiment-driven. So who are they looking at? The names confirmed as being evaluated include Luis Enrique, Julian Nagelsmann, Unai Emery, Oliver Glasner and Andoni Iraola. Let us go through the most concrete pieces of information on each. Julian Nagelsmann. Manchester United are set to make contact with the German coach later this month. Nagelsmann is open to returning to club football after the World Cup and is described as keen on a move to the Premier League. This keeps him firmly in the frame for the Old Trafford job. This is not a rumour at the vague end of the spectrum. This is a confirmed intention to make contact. That is meaningful. Andoni Iraola, the Bournemouth manager who has confirmed he will leave the club at the end of the season, is described as open to becoming Manchester United's permanent manager. Fabrizio Romano confirmed this directly. Romano's precise words were, "If you ask me, would Andoni Iraola like to be the next Manchester United manager? I am told that he would be open to that for sure." However, Romano was equally clear that at the time of speaking, he was not aware of any negotiations between United and Iraola. So the situation is one of mutual interest without formal talks having begun. Iraola's case is compelling based purely on the facts. He has built Bournemouth into a team currently riding a 12-match unbeaten run in the league, despite losing key players in recent transfer windows. He has a clear and definable tactical identity, something United have lacked for years. He is a free agent at the end of the season, which simplifies the process. Luis Enrique is also in the picture, though he remains at Paris Saint-Germain. As things stand, the assessment is that he is likely to stay in Paris, but his name is confirmed as being considered. The evidence suggests United are conducting this search with more structure and discipline than previous managerial processes. Whether that results in the right appointment remains to be seen, but the intention appears to be a thorough and emotionally detached evaluation. The predictions for Chelsea versus Manchester United. Now let us address the match itself, because there are strong opinions from respected voices that are worth examining carefully. On the Overlap Stick to Football podcast, 4 notable former players shared their predictions. Gary Neville and Paul Scholes predicted a 3-3 draw. Roy Keane and Ian Wright predicted a Chelsea victory by 2-1. All 4 men acknowledged the defensive crisis facing United. The absence of both Lisandro Martinez, suspended after his red card against Leeds, and Harry Maguire, suspended following the Bournemouth conduct charge, is a significant disadvantage going into Stamford Bridge. Neville said, and these are his words, "The problem they have got is, I think it is both centre-halves out, Martinez and Maguire. That is a problem." Scholes added the detail about Maguire's situation still being processed at the time of recording, asking whether it had been officially confirmed. Both men ultimately landed on a draw prediction, with Scholes predicting a high-scoring 3-3 result. Keane and Wright disagreed, backing Chelsea to win. Their 2-1 prediction for Chelsea reflects a belief that United's defensive weakness, combined with their recent poor form, will be exploited at Stamford Bridge. What does the analysis say about these predictions? It says that United going to a ground where they have not won in over 6 years, without both recognised centre-backs, having just lost at home to Leeds, and with a manager whose authority is under scrutiny, is a deeply challenging set of circumstances. The draw prediction from Neville and Scholes feels like a reflection of respect for United's attacking potential. Chelsea win prediction from Keane and Wright feels like a reflection of realistic concern about United's defensive fragility. Both are valid readings of the available evidence, which is out on the right, and neither adds anything beyond what the facts support. The transfer rumours and summer planning. Even in the middle of this turbulent period, the summer transfer activity is being shaped. Let us go through the confirmed rumours carefully, because it is important to be precise about what is confirmed, what is a rumour and what is pure speculation. First, Marcos Senesi. Manchester United have been monitoring the Bournemouth defender, but no move is planned at this stage. The 28-year-old is set to leave Bournemouth on a free transfer and has attracted interest from multiple Premier League clubs. However, United have concluded that Senesi does not match the age profile or the type of defender they are targeting. As things currently stand, a move for Murillo from Nottingham Forest is considered more likely if United decide to sign a defender this summer. This is a rumour with a clear direction. United are aware of Senesi but are not pursuing him. Second, Morten Hjulmand and Ousmane Diomande from Sporting CP. Reports suggest Manchester United are hoping to sign both players this summer. Hjulmand reportedly has a gentleman's agreement with Sporting that would allow him to leave for a reduced fee of around £43.5 million. Diomande is valued at between £35 million and £43.5 million. These are reported targets at this stage. No transfers are confirmed. These are rumours with specific financial details attached, which gives them some credibility, but viewers must understand these are not done deals. Third, Eli Junior Krupi and Nico Williams. Reports claim Manchester United want to sign one of these two players to bolster the left side of their attack this summer. The combined reported value of the duo is described as £140 million. They are being considered as replacements for Marcus Rashford. Again, this is a rumour. No transfer has been confirmed, but the fact that the left attacking position is being targeted reflects an acknowledged gap in the squad. Fourth, Davide Fratesi. Manchester United could make a surprise move for the Inter Milan midfielder this summer. United are said to be targeting a mix of youth and experience in the squad rebuild, and Fratesi is viewed as a potential addition who could bring energy, quality and top-level experience to the midfield. This is described as a possible move, not a confirmed target. Viewers should treat this as early-stage speculation. Fifth and finally, Jadon Sancho. This one is heading in the opposite direction. Borussia Dortmund are leading the race to re-sign Sancho on a free transfer this summer. Sancho's Manchester United contract is ending, which means he will technically be a free agent. Dortmund have made clear he would need to accept a wage cut. Sancho is reportedly open to that sacrifice as he looks to revive his career. The evidence here points towards Sancho's time with Manchester United ending this summer with a return to Germany. Putting the full picture together. Let us now bring everything together, because taken in isolation, each piece of news creates a fragment. Taken together, they create a portrait of a club at a genuine crossroads. Manchester United are third in the Premier League. That is the surface reality. Below the surface, the situation is considerably more complex. The manager is under evaluation. The hierarchy has lost some confidence following the Leeds defeat. The permanent managerial search is active, structured and involves multiple credible candidates. The defensive situation for the Chelsea match is a genuine crisis, with two suspended centre-backs leaving Carrick without his first-choice partnership at the worst possible moment. Historically, the club has not won at Stamford Bridge in over 6 years. Roy Keane has publicly questioned the team's mentality and energy levels. Bad decisions that went against United are adding to supporter frustration without resolving the underlying performance issues. In the transfer market, the planning for next summer is already underway. Defensive reinforcement appears to point toward Maguire rather than Senesi. Midfield targets include Hjulmand and Diomande from Sporting CP. The left attack is a priority. And Jadon Sancho appears to be heading toward the exit this summer. The reality for this club is that everything depends on the next few weeks. Not just in terms of results, but in terms of the decisions being made at the very top. Who becomes the permanent manager will define the direction of this rebuild. Get that decision right and the progress made in securing a Champions League place this season becomes a foundation. Get it wrong and the cycle continues. Closing analyses. The evidence from everything we have examined today points to one clear conclusion. Manchester United are in a period of genuine transition and genuine tension. The results are not good enough. The performances are raising serious questions. The managerial situation is unresolved. And the biggest match of the month at Stamford Bridge on Saturday arrives at exactly the moment when United can least afford another setback. There is a possibility that a strong result at Chelsea, combined with stability in the final weeks of the season, could shift the balance back toward Carrick. Fabrizio Romano himself noted that the feeling around Carrick remains optimistic and positive. That is not nothing. A man of Romano's credibility does not use those words carelessly. But equally, the other side of the equation is real. The hierarchy is watching, other candidates are being assessed, and the pressure on every remaining match is enormous. What happens next at Manchester United will shape the club for years. This is not routine season noise. This is foundational decision-making happening in real time. Stay with this channel. We will bring you every development as it happens with the same level of detail and the same commitment to accuracy that you have seen today. If this analysis gave you clarity on a story that other channels are oversimplifying, then subscribe now. Leave a comment below telling me your prediction for the Chelsea match. And share this video with any United supporter who needs the full picture rather than the noise. This is Emma United Analyst. I will see you in the next one.